Hello, I'm Meredith Ashley, and you're watching Road Back to Health. I'm going to be talking about trichotillomania today. Trichotillomania is something when you actually have the urge to pluck out hair. Now, you could be plucking it out from your scalp. You could be plucking it out from your eyebrows, your eyelashes. It also encompasses picking scabs, picking just anything on your body. You could start picking your leg and creating a wound. And it's very, very serious because a lot of people can get infections from constant picking and plucking, abscesses, all kinds of things can happen when you're constantly picking at your body or pulling hair. It's definitely in the realm of OCD. It's an obsessive compulsive problem. And any medical conditions you have might even trigger this problem. Reading I've done on this problem over the years basically talks about adrenal glands, and glutathione is basically at a very low level in your body. I'm not sure how much of that is true. I do believe that the stress component, when you are under severe stress, your levels of vitamin B and potassium, things like that, get depleted. When you sweat, when you're anxious, your potassium level is just going down. It's constantly going down. There are things out there that can help. I mean, I'm not saying take a bunch of potassium, but B vitamins really help with nerves, B12 especially. So B12 can help you with nerves, but to address some of the more mental aspects of the issue, you don't necessarily need to be on an antidepressant. Maybe occasionally you could take something like St. John's wort. It's an older herbal that people have gone to kind of ease stress, or if you have some sort of depression or something that's making you actually pluck. I do believe there's chemistry behind it, but the chemistry is out of whack because of a bigger issue. I don't believe people are just born with this issue. There is science behind it saying they are, but I feel like triggers make people do things. Okay, I guess that's pretty mundane, and it's not really a scientific explanation. But I will say, when I was younger, I had a trigger, and I'm not going to go into that. It's just too personal. But the trigger caused me to pluck hair out of my head. I had a bald spot in the back of my head. And then when people make fun of you for doing these things and they don't understand them, especially young kids in elementary school, the whole problem can get even worse because someone's making fun of it. So, and you'd think that you would want to stop because they're making fun of it, but actually it makes it worse. It just totally makes you think, I have to rip out more hair. There's all kinds of reasons, all kinds of stressors that people do this, and the stress is what causes, I believe, the chemical imbalance, or the depletion of glutathione, which I believe I read that in a National Institute of Health article. People have all kinds of reasons why they do these things. Not everyone has a severe OCD problem, and not everyone is ever going to do this in their life. But when you deal with trauma, when you deal with medical issues, when you deal with stresses, everyday stresses can lead you to do this. Like I said, but not everyone has a development where it becomes so bad where you have no eyelashes left, or eyebrows, or bald spots on your head, or it can create a downward spiral. Okay. I will relate it to being on drugs. People that succumb to doing heroin or anything in that realm. This condition, trichotillomania, it's like being on a drug. When you have an urge to pluck and you feel a hair and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to pluck that one hair, and it gets that bad where you can't You can't do anything to help someone that is on this path to plucking that one hair. You really can't. The person needs to be taking things, like I said, like St. John's wort. St. John's wort, it can really help. It can really help. It's just a small herbal capsule, okay? You can take 1 or 2 of these a day, and it can help calm you down a little bit. You don't want to take it too long. Take it for 2 weeks, see how it helps you. I've also seen where the amino acid, NAC, I can't remember what it stands for at the moment. It's an amino acid, and it actually helps the synapses that are lacking in glutathione, if I'm saying that right. Like I said, there's a couple different abstracts out there that they're just like a summary of larger articles, and they talk about different things that the brain is missing or that the gut is missing, and when they point to different things that cause the OCD, and it's usually a depletion in vitamins and minerals. Magnesium helps calm the muscles in the body. Magnesium is something everyone with this problem should be on. The NAC is apparently something that people have raved about on YouTube and in articles I've read. So NAC definitely has something in it that makes you less OCD and less likely to pluck. People have still plucked on it, but not to the extent they were before, not fully plucking. I will do another video and describe some of the things that have actually helped me. These things have helped, but I mean, the CBD oil actually has helped the most. And in my other video, I was talking about the CBD 100. This dramatically helped for the first couple of weeks. The problem I've found is that just like with any drug or any medication or any oil, the problem is it kind of starts plateauing, not going downhill, but you're kind of like on an even keel. Like, you know it's helping you, but it's not as dramatic as when you first start taking it for the first time. I tried to take it almost 3 years ago. I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't taking enough of it. There's not a lot of practitioners out there that want to tell you dosaging because they don't know, because everyone's different. Everyone has different medical conditions, or something. The dosaging is different for everybody. And I've done so much reading on it in the last 13 to 16 months, and I finally was like, I didn't want to spend several dollars on something if it wasn't going to work. So I did go back to the same kind I started, the Ananda Apothecary CBD 100. It's called CBD 100. It has a green band around it with white at the top. Most of theirs have a color and then white, but the green one is CBD 100. You can get that online, AnandaApothecary.com. They're out of Boulder, Colorado. I was using that for the first couple weeks this summer, again, after 3 years. Worked beautifully. I didn't pluck. I could sleep. My bladder issues, which are severe at times, caused me not to sleep, and I was taking opioids, and it dramatically helped. I don't have an urge to pluck. I haven't in several weeks. I hardly had any eyelashes. It was like my face was puffy here because of it. I didn't have eyebrows for months. The pain that I go through on occasion gets so bad where I was plucking constantly. Even when there was nothing there, I was still trying to rip hairs out. And I beat this issue years ago. I've had it all my life. In high school, from end of high school into college, I was on Lexapro for almost 3.5 years, and I've taken other things here and there to try and help me with plucking and anxiety. I've always been a high-strung person. I have high blood pressure, and the CBD, I was so ecstatic because it was helping me. I think that, like I said, everything kind of goes through, it's like a wax and waning period where you have it working great, whether it's an amino acid, whether it's St. John's wort, the amino acid being NAC. It's just everything goes through cycles of it works for a little bit, then it doesn't. And I think the biggest issue is people have to understand most of the time all medications or supplements go through that. And you have to know alternatives during the periods where something's working. Oh my gosh, it's not working. It's going down for you, and you're constantly plucking again, or you're having more anxiety, and the stress is mounting, and you've got nothing. You have to do research. You have to understand that there's other things out there for the interim. I have read that you need to take a break, almost like go through a withdrawal, intentional withdrawal, for a couple of days when you're using different kinds of marijuana or hemp products, just like anything else. Sometimes people get addicted to things and they need higher and higher doses. Sometimes they need to change the product. It just really depends on how much you were using. I mean, if you're using a lot quickly, the dependence could be there already. Like I said, you have to keep a journal, keep a log of when you're using it, the dosage, and see, like, is there a specific reason why you think it stopped working, or is it just the factor of what I just said? You have to go off it for a couple of days. It really depends on your medical issue. But I feel like the CBD helped me dramatically grow my eyelashes back. And I also take biotin. Biotin is a B vitamin. It's specifically for your skin and hair and nail growth. Biotin I take right now, I've taken different kinds of it over the years and different strengths, but this is a biotin from CVS. CVS brands are phenomenal. They're reasonably priced. I believe this was about $6 and change. And these are capsules. I try to always get capsules. I think capsules are best. And I take between 5 and 6 of these a day to try and grow back my hair. But remember, if trichotillomania is really triggered by stress for you or medical condition, it's not just about growing the hair, it's about stopping plucking. You can't be like, oh, let me take 20 biotin and I can pluck tomorrow and it will still grow. That's not how it works, because you're plucking the follicle and you keep going, you're in a circle and you're at square one again as soon as you pluck that hair out. Also, these are bee gummies. Okay, these are 2,500 micrograms of biotin, a lot smaller than the other one. You could take a couple of these a day. I always try to take MSM with any pill because I don't want to get any kind of gastritis from taking too many pills. I don't really believe that, but some doctors want to blame vitamins on gastritis, which it's ridiculous. You always want a good immune system to fight any mental issue or cold or anything, but GSE oil, this is a go-to. I put about 12 to 15 drops in a bottle of water and shake that up and drink it throughout the day. It's also great strep throat prevention. Here's a bee pill from Puritan's Pride. This is a bee complex. Taking 2 of these a day if you're female is a very good thing. The problem is they do burp up and they are disgusting. So if you want, just keep taking capsules of biotin. I think CVS has a capsule of, they probably have a capsule like biotin but of B complex. This is just biotin for hair growth. Other than St. John's wort, I've used Gabatrol in the past. A good friend of mine who suffers from gastroparesis and kind of went through similar situation as I did, he recommended this. This is expensive. I think it was $38, but it has a lot of things in it like L-theanine, taurine, L-tyrosine. It's got several amino acids in here with the GABA. You only really need one. When I took 2, I got a little loopy and I fell asleep very fast. So you don't necessarily need 2. One, honestly, just makes you a little bit calmer, and these amino acids are very, very helpful for severe stress situations. Chronic conditions that cause severe stress are great with Gavitrol. Right now I'm taking St. John's wort for depression, anxiety. My CBD is for that too, but in order to stop plucking, you do need to figure out different approaches. It's not a one-pronged approach. You have to have multiple things assisting different issues, and you have to have a backup plan if something stops working. Herbals and other supplements, just like pharmaceuticals, are notorious for things to just come to a halt. And if you have that issue, it happens a lot when I've taken ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is an Indian herb. It's very great for calming, but it can cause some gastric upset. So one pill that's like 400 or 500 milligrams is probably enough for most people. But I've used an ashwagandha through Organic India for almost 5 years now, on and off, and it's the best one out there. It's over 800 milligrams per capsule, and it's about $22 a bottle. It's in a glass bottle. I have some in the other room. I don't have it in front of me right now. But anyway, ashwagandha is also great for nerves, and it also boosts the immune system. The problem is if you take it too much, you will get some GI discomfort. Your stomach might have a weird gnawing sensation, and you don't want to take it too long. You take it sparingly, and it's great to try to go to sleep. So anyway, I hope that this was helpful. Plucking and this horrible thing, trichotillomania, is something I battled with for over 26 years now. And there's periods of times where I have had no eyebrows or eyelashes. Like I said, it started out with plucking hair on my head, and the bald spot, the hair grew back. I didn't do it again. It was like 2 years in elementary school, and then middle school into high school is when I started plucking a lot. My eyelashes, my eyebrows. The eyelashes and eyebrow issue kind of went away for a few years on Lexapro, but Lexapro made me gain a lot of weight. It made me eat several times a day. A snack was a burger and fries and 2 milkshakes. I mean, that's how bad it inflates the hypothalamus, which makes you think you're hungry all the time. And it can create other issues. I started having high numbers in my A1C, and yeah, it was very bad. I mean, these pharmaceuticals are bad, and I advise you to stay away from them and take B vitamins, take GABA, try St. John's wort, go with one for a few days, see how it helps you. Talk to a natural health or integrative doctor. Thanks for watching Road Back to Health.